there was a big van that was parked across the road. Obviously, images similar to what we saw on London Bridge a couple of years ago. Do you know anything more about the role of that vehicle?
Well, I've been kept updated all afternoon, but I think it's important for the Assistant Commissioner Basu to answer specific questions about that and the investigation. It's really important that police have the time to carry investigations, and they will answer questions in due course.
Mr. Khan, can I ask, from the video footage that's been circulated, it's clear that members of the public are involved very quickly, it would appear. What do you say? Do you expand on people that clearly have gone above and beyond potentially heroes here today?
Well, firstly, can I say, anybody who's got images of this afternoon either put on their phone or other devices, please share that with the police. There is a website set up where you can share those images, and it's really important you do so. Also ask you to respect the identity of the armed officers, and please don't put in the public domain their identity. But also what's remarkable about the images we've seen is the breathtaking heroism of members of the public who literally ran towards danger, not knowing what confronted them. We do know from the statement given by the Assistant Commissioner Basu that there appears to have been a device on the suspect. Members of the public didn't realise at the time that was a hoax device, and they really are the best of us. Another example of the bravery and heroism of ordinary Londoners running towards danger, risking their own personal safety to try and save others. And I want to say thank you to them on behalf of all Londoners, but also because it shows the best of us.
So can I ask you, you're here again outside Scotland Yard just a couple of years after you did this false hoax. How does that make you personally?
Look, I'm mayor of the greatest city in the world. One of our strengths is our diversity, but we do know there are people out there who hate our diversity, who hate what we stand for, and are trying to seek to divide us. What was amazing about today is we saw in the one individual, the suspect, the worst of humanity, but we also saw in the response from members of the public, but also our emergency services, the very best of humanity. And the message I want to send, not just to Londoners, not just to the visitors to our city, but around the world, is we are resolute, we stand united in the face of terrorism, and we will not allow anybody to divide us.
What do you feel as mayor that when you get that call, when you hear another incident of seriousness?
Well, I know, speaking to colleagues around the world, mayors of other great cities, that we're all targets for terrorists. The fact is, since the 4 terrorist incidents in 2017, because of the excellent work of the police and the security services, and because of the intelligence provided by members of the public, we've thwarted more than 20 attempts at terrorism on innocent citizens. And what's really important is that we all remain vigilant. If anybody sees anything suspicious, please report it to the police. Err on the side of caution. I'd rather people over-report to the police and the experts than under-report. But it's also really important that we allow the police to carry out the investigations. And also I'd ask members of the press to please respect the privacy of all those who have been injured today and their families as well.
One more. Sorry, in practical terms, I just wonder what does that mean for people going about their lives in London? How frightened should people be? This is Christmas time, running up to Christmas. What practically do people need to do and know?
Well, we know that a couple of weeks ago the threat levels were reduced from severe to substantial. We also know one of the things that terrorists try to do is to disrupt our way of life and to stop us going about our normal business. Today's a day when many of our shops will be extremely busy, and we know, unfortunately, because of this terrorist attack, travel's been disrupted in London. At London Bridge, the trains and the tubes are still not stopping at London Bridge, and many of the buses have been diverted. The advice from the police and the counter-terror experts is this appears to be an isolated incident. The police aren't looking for anybody else. If that changes, of course, the police would let people know. But I'd remind members of the public that we've been here before. In previous decades, our city has been under attack from terrorists. One of the things that we've always been successful at doing is standing resolute and not allowing terrorists to disrupt our way of life, not simply in going about our business as we approach Christmas, but also not allowing anybody to divide our communities. It's really important that we as Londoners stand shoulder to shoulder with one another, but stand resolute in the face of a terrorist or an individual or others who seek to divide us.
Will the threat level be raised?
Well, JTEC always review threat levels. It's a regular thing they review. Colleagues will be aware It was reviewed recently and reduced from severe to substantial. JTAC and others will constantly keep these things under review. It's really important that we recognise that this was one individual and that there was huge bravery from members of the public as well as the first responders. But at this time, my thoughts and prayers are with all those injured and those affected by the incident this afternoon. Thank you all very much.